Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles, and welcome to the first rant review that I've done in a very long time. This review is of Figure of Speech by Kasha Thompson, and let me preface this by saying, number one, there will absolutely be spoilers for this book, so if this is on your TBR, you don't want me to ruin it for you, maybe don't watch this video, come back after you've read it, and then we can talk about it, okay? Two, this is an author that I had DNF'd twice, right? And I was really trying to give her another chance. So I tried to read Sight Unseen, which is based on Married at First Sight, which is a TV show that I love. Didn't get very far. It was just very awkward. I didn't like the writing. I didn't really care for the characters, wasn't feeling it. Then I tried to read Working Through It. Quick spoiler content warning for that one. I picked up very quickly that the MMC was going to cheat on his fiance with the FMC, and I don't do cheating, so no. So I had downloaded this one purely based off of the cover because I was intrigued, and I feel like I saw somewhere that it was comped for Scandal, right? And I was like, ooh, let me add this to my Kindle Unlimited TBR. And then I realized who the author was, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it. We'll see how far we go, and we'll see what happens. At one point, I realized that I was not enjoying the book, but I was genuinely curious about how it was going to end and if all of the issues that I had pointed out were going to be addressed. They weren't. It got worse, and then they still weren't addressed, but somehow they ended up together, and I just don't know how that worked out because it doesn't make any sense to me. So this is a workplace romance between the press secretary and the president of the United States. You can already imagine the complications that are going to come up about this, right? I ended up rating this 2.5 stars, and now that I'm thinking about it, that feels generous. We're gonna have to knock that down. I'll figure out what my rating is later, but that is what it currently says on StoryGraph. Because this is pretty much just gonna be me ranting and talking about everything that I hate in this book, it's not going to be the carefully constructed reviews that I typically do for books. I'm not gonna go through all the different plot points and the characters. I'm just gonna tell you what I fucking hated, which is damn near everything. We're gonna start off with our main character, Clover. This is single POV. Another red flag. Clover she's a smart woman. She is a businesswoman. She is great at her job. And, you know, with this being comped for Scandal, and maybe it wasn't the author who said that, maybe it was like, I saw it on Twitter or something, but with it being comped for Scandal, I expected that badassery that Olivia Pope has, and we didn't really get that. She's very much I got hurt one time in the past, so I don't do relationships anymore type person, which I fucking hate because it's stupid. And while she is great at PR and being the press secretary, she just does dumb shit, and I'm just like, what is wrong with you? My biggest issue with Clover is that she's a dumb bitch. For as smart as she is a dumb bitch. And so there's one situation where she used to be friends with benefits with this guy who works for this news station that essentially is the equivalent of Fox News. Okay, first of all, there's that. It took until like 20-something% in the book where I realized that this man was white. When I go into a book, I do assume that everybody's black, but like, I swear she never described him at all. So then she said something about him, and I was like, wait a minute, this is a white man? And he works for this station? Why are you sleeping with him? Anywho, she sets up an interview with this guy and the president, knowing that the president wants her and that she used to sleep with this man. And he's interviewing the president, and he's like, I have pictures of you and your press secretary. What's that about? Da, da, da. And I'm like, did you really not foresee this? You really didn't see that coming? I feel like if we had just taken a second to think about that, that was definitely going to come up, okay? So all of that. Clover, not my favorite person. And then the president, Theodore, Teddy, whatever the fuck, he may not be a dumb bitch, but he's definitely a bitch. And so my biggest concern was, obviously, they're sneaking around in the White House. He's coming to her apartment. Somebody's gonna see them at some point. It's going to come out at some point. How are they going to handle it? And the president is very fucking selfish. He literally is like, I'm the president of the United States. I get whatever I want. And has absolutely no regard for her career, how she's going to be perceived, because at the end of the day, when all of this comes out, it's all going to fall on her. Oh, she's the president's whore. Oh, that's how she got the job. Oh, that explains why when so-and-so asked her out, she said no. Literally all those things are said to her at one point. And it's just, how did you not foresee this? Not only because she's a woman, but also because you're the fucking president. Nobody's going to call you on your bullshit. And me personally, it just didn't feel like he really cared that much. It was just, well, this is what I want, so I'm going to get it, and I'm not going to deal with the consequences because I don't have to, but also not being conscious of the fact that that means that she's gonna have to deal with it, right? So that's basically what happened. Ignore the fact that my ring light keeps changing colors. So they're sneaking around. That interview happens where her ex fuck buddy says he has pictures. The pictures get released, whatever. You know, they try to cover it up and just be like, oh, well, you know, like, we've known each other for a while, because she worked on his campaign when he was running for senator. Eventually, she's like, you know what? I'm gonna leave the White House. I'm gonna resign, and I'm just gonna start my own firm, which is what I always wanted to do. This was supposed to be a stepping stone for me, and she hadn't even been there long. I don't even think she spent an entire year in the White House. But anyway, so she goes to give him her resignation letter, and he throws a fucking temper tantrum. You would think that this grown-ass man was a fucking child who got his favorite toy taken away from him. It was ridiculous. And the thing that really told me that I needed to do a rant review was the fact that she gives him the letter, and he's like, well, what about us? And she's like, I think that we always knew that this had an expiration date. Like, this just, it's not gonna work, especially with like all the media and stuff that we're getting right now. He says something like, and I'll put it up for you because I did highlight it. He said something like, you're right, we weren't ever gonna work because you're a broken, bitter bitch who's gonna die alone. First and foremost, I really need men to understand that telling a woman that she's gonna be alone is not the threat that you think it is, okay? We don't care. Two, if I were dating, seeing, whatever, and that man has the audacity to call me out my name, there's no coming back from that. There's absolutely no redemption. There's nothing. There's nothing that you can do that is going to erase the fact that you let those words come out of your fucking mouth. That scene happened and literally my jaw dropped. I could not believe it. I could not believe that in a romance novel, this is what our MMC was saying to our main character. The conclusion of that scene is her walking out of the Oval Office, and she turns to him and says, I'm sorry. What are you apologizing for? And you would think the president's going to apologize at some point, right? That's how they get back together. No. Not only does he never apologize for it, they never even talk about it. It's never discussed. They just pretend it never happened. And for me, I'm like, okay, I don't believe in there being a redemption arc for this. However, maybe she's gonna try. Maybe he's gonna grovel. Maybe he's gonna, you know, send her flowers every day for a month. I'm a wedding planner. I know flowers aren't cheap. But you're the president of the United States, you got it. Send her lunch or dinner every day. Put together a little basket of all her favorite things and drop it off. Try, do something. No, nothing. She opens her firm, her mother invited him, and he just shows up unannounced. They have a conversation on the roof and they get back together, and that's it. And I'm just like, we're gonna ignore the fact that he called you a broken, bitter bitch? You're not even gonna try to make up for it? I mean, you can't, but you're not gonna try? Couldn't be me. That's really all you need to know about this book. If I'm being totally honest with you, that is pretty much the gist of it. A lot of things just didn't make sense, and I have come to the conclusion that Kasha Thompson is just not for me, and that's okay. But romance authors, having not only the love interest, but the president of the United States call a woman a broken bitch and not address it or make up for it or apologize in any way, shape, or form is wild. I 100% do not recommend this book at all. If you've read it, let's talk about it. And like, it had potential. That's the crazy thing. It definitely had potential. Because we could have gotten that Fitz and Olivia, you know, I mean, I fucking hate Fitz, but I also hate this president, so basically same thing. I don't think that Clover was anything like Olivia, though. You know, it could have worked. There was a period of time in Scandal where it worked, and in this, it just didn't make sense. Like, sure, there's some smutty scenes if that's what you want. I honestly found a lot of it kind of cringe, but that's just me. If you want to read this, I would say have fun, but I don't really know what would be fun for you. But yeah, I think I'm actually gonna change my rating to like either a 2 or a 1.75. The 2.5 could have potentially been deserved if that situation had been addressed at all, but for me, That's just not gonna work. So those are my feelings on figure of speech. Will not be reading this author again. Let me know if you've read it or if it's on your TBR. Hopefully it's not. If it's on your TBR, please take it off. Or don't, do what you want. It's your life. But that is all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.